I don't think that the Lord and all of his disciples could have stopped the Lakers.
This team, this organization, this city.
The Lakers are NBA champions once again.
Your drive is there to be the best.
The night and the championship belong to the Los Angeles Lakers.
You are now tuned in to the LakersSource Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Rance G. Bada boom, biggest Lakers fan in the room. How you doing? Lots to talk about today. A lot of news circulating involving the Lakers today. Gonna have plenty to talk about on today's episode. I want to start out by thanking everybody that's been subscribing to the page, checking out the videos. Hope you guys like them. Hope you like the new intro. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet, actually. I also would like to thank everybody that's been following us on Twitter. That's at LakersSource on Twitter. If you haven't already followed us, go ahead and do that. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep you updated on everything involving the Lakers. But enough of that. On to more exciting things. The Lakers have had some news come out this week. A lot of rumors going on, a lot of news coming out. I'm just going to jump right into some of the news that we saw today. Magic Johnson came out in an interview and said that he considers Brandon Ingram as the only Laker that is untouchable right now currently on the roster. And I think that's kind of might not be such a much of a surprise to too many people. I think we've heard that a little bit in the offseason already, so I don't think that's too big of a shocker. Some people might think that the Lakers are completely committed to keeping their young core intact, all of them, and I don't think that's the case. You can disagree with me or disagree with that approach. I totally see both sides of the argument, but I think that Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson are really going to try to improve this team as quickly as possible. I don't think they're going to do anything that's going to jeopardize the future. I don't think they're going to go and trade all the young guys for some older veterans to try to win something here in the next year or two. I don't think that's going to happen. But if there's a 26, 27-year-old superstar or a couple of them out there that are willing to be had for the right price, I think that Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson are definitely going to do their best to try to get one of those type of players on the team. So Ingram being the only untouchable is pretty interesting to me. I think he does have the highest upside of all the players that we currently have on the roster. I think that if he keeps working on it, gets his shot to go down a little bit more, gets a little bit stronger, he's going to be really good. He's going to be a really, really good player. The only thing that I see becoming an issue with Ingram is that if we do go out and get a Paul George or a Jimmy Butler, what position will Ingram play? Is he going to play the small forward? Is he going to play shooting guard? Is he going to play power forward? That's going to be really interesting to see if we do go out and get one of those elite wing players, what that does for Ingram's position-wise where he'll fit in. But I think that here in a couple years we're going to look back and see that Brandon Ingram really is really good pick that we made last year. Looking at something else that is kind of going through the Twitterverse. Well, it's not even the Twitterverse, it's the entire internet that's kind of talking about this. I've seen rumblings over this the past couple days that Chris Bosh and the Lakers apparently have mutual interest, and that could be just speculated on. People are saying that because Rob Pelinka is his former agent, and because Chris Bosh now got out of his contract obligations with Miami, that could be something that comes to fruition here in the next few months, which I'm not opposed to that at all. I mean, if he's healthy and he thinks that, and the doctors think that he can, go with his blood clot issue and he can still play, then that's the Lakers starting center next year right there, and I don't think we'd have to give up, an entire full max slot for him, maybe. But he already lives in Los Angeles in the offseason anyways. Like I said, he's got ties to Rob Pelinka, so I think that'd be a natural fit. A stretch center, he is definitely the type of center that we've kind of seen Magic and Rob talk about, the new age center that can do more things other than just score in the low post. I mean, Bosh can hit threes. We've seen him do that. So, I'm not super fired up about it. I don't think he makes us a championship contender if that's the only move we make. But, if we keep Ingram, keep the second pick, add a Paul George, add a Chris Bosh, we're looking at a playoff spot next year, and that's pretty exciting for, Lakers land. So moving on from there, another thing that people have been talking about today is Magic Johnson had an interview on ESPN with Marcellus Wiley, and I can't remember the other guy's name right now, but they were talking about Lonzo Ball, talking about Lavar Ball, and Magic, I think, might have slipped up a little bit. He kind of, as I listened to it, I recognized, or I heard him say that he hopes that the Lakers are blessed enough to be able to draft Lonzo Ball at the number 2 pick. And then he kind of quickly corrected himself. He goes, well, if that's the guy that we decide to draft. So, take that however you want it. But I think that the smoke as far as the Lakers really liking Lonzo Ball, I think there's some truth to that. I think that the Lakers probably do really like Lonzo Ball. And I think after they work him out, they'll either decide then if that's the guy they're going to take for sure, or if, they're going to look at a De'Aaron Fox or a Josh Jackson or somebody else. So that was interesting. I saw that Luke, also earlier this week, Coach Luke Walton said that he loves Lonzo Ball's game. Magic said that Lonzo Ball reminds him of a 19-year-old himself. So I think that they're kind of, setting the stage for Lonzo Ball to be a Laker if he's still available at the 2nd pick, and, granted he does well in his workouts. So all the people out there that are clamoring for Lonzo, you could have your wish come true here soon. See, though, I did see earlier that the Lakers are adding Miles Simon to the coaching staff, former player out of Arizona. I probably has connections with Luke Walton since they both played at Arizona. I actually don't remember if they played on the same team. Maybe they did. Not sure. But no, he was a little bit before. Luke Walton. He played with Mike Bibby. Yeah, he was a few years before Luke Walton. But I'm sure they know each other. Maybe they did play together at some point, but I know that he was playing in 97 and Luke came out in like 2002 or something like that. So that's interesting. Luke's got another Arizona Wildcat on the staff, and somebody that he probably trusts and knows from the past through their connections at Arizona. So that's good. Anytime we can add, former players and someone that Coach Walton trusts to the coaching staff, that's always a good thing. Speaking of coaching staff, it's something I didn't even consider when we were talking. Everybody keeps talking about all this Paul George stuff. Brian Shaw and him had a really good relationship when Shaw was the coach in Indiana. And Shaw obviously is our assistant coach now, and I think that really gives us some ammo and gives us, an additional attractive asset for Paul George if we do not trade for him, and if we do decide that we're going to stand pat and just keep the young guys for now, and then see if we can't, take a shot at getting him next summer. And I think that Brian Shaw definitely helps our chances there. So everyone that's on social media and on YouTube and everywhere that's saying that we just need to keep the young guys intact and just go for it next summer, I can totally see that happening as well, especially if we feel that his relationship with Brian Shaw is that good and they do, trust each other and like each other that much. So I think that's a good thing for the Lakers too. I also saw earlier today that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wants to get in the gym and work with Ivica Zubac. That'll be great. Zubac has already shown a lot of promise for being such a young guy from, international background and playing internationally, not really having, the AAU experience or the, high school or college United States basketball experience. Last year was his first taste, really, of, going up against the elite athletes of America as far as basketball goes. So I think he showed a lot of promise. He did really well. There was times that he came out there and he'd change the game in just 5 minutes, just, altering shots, getting rebounds, scoring with a variety of moves. Zubac's offensive game is impressive, and for being so young, he's only going to get better, and having Kareem help him out, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, I think that can only help Ivica a lot. And if some of you saw earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, that Kareem said that he criticized Dwight Howard's work ethic. when he was with the Lakers, which that probably doesn't surprise anyone. Dwight wasn't really too interested in working with Kareem or paying attention or really working hard to get better, which we could tell on court. But, that's the past. Wish Dwight Howard all the best in the future, but, it looks like he's in for averaging about 7 points and 10 to 12 rebounds a game like he did for Atlanta in the playoffs. So that's that. Also saw earlier today that the Lakers actually, another report that wasn't, so much pro Lonzo, or they weren't really anti Lonzo Ball either, but it was just pointing out that the rumors are that the front office haven't decided yet on Lonzo Ball, and they actually do love De'Aaron Fox and Josh Jackson. So, these next few weeks are going to be interesting leading up to the June 22nd NBA draft. We'll see where this goes. We'll see if the Lakers can lock in on that prospect they really want. I think Josh Jackson's size, versatility, defensive ability, he can really help us out. I think Josh Jackson, I don't think anybody would be upset, or I don't think we would regret the pick if we did take a Josh Jackson. De'Aaron Fox, he's an elite athlete. I mentioned this on the last podcast, that his speed is just, he plays at an extra speed than everyone else. He's faster. He's got a quick first step. He's got a quick second and third step. I mean, he's a really fast player, and he can finish around the rim. He can shoot enough. He's got a little shot, and, he can obviously learn to make plays for other people better, and he'll only become much better after learning how to do that, and getting his assists in the game to go up a little bit. And Lonzo Ball, again, it could, once Lonzo Ball has the interview with the Lakers, he could blow the Lakers away, and they just make the decision right then that, not only do we have the marketability and the attention that Lonzo will get, and he's a homegrown talent, that, we believe his skills are what the Lakers need. He complements D'Angelo's game. He can make D'Angelo better. Speaking of that, I don't know if you guys saw the controversy this week, but I mentioned it on the Rumors Rundown, and I've actually seen some different videos of people talking about it and some different hot takes, and Lakers fans saying that that was kind of their last straw with D'Angelo, him liking the tweet where the individual said that on Twitter that the Lakers would be stupid if they drafted Lonzo Ball because of D'Angelo Russell's ability, and D'Angelo Russell actually liked that tweet, and a lot of people said it's a poor judgment, poor choice for D'Angelo to like that tweet. Actually, I said it wasn't that big of a deal in my opinion, but thinking about it a little bit, it's just kind of stupid on his part to do that. Why potentially create a rift with a future teammate? There's no reason for it. If you see the tweet, D'Angelo, like it for yourself. You don't have to, physically like it on Twitter. So I think he could have done that a different way. But I've also seen D'Angelo compliment Lonzo on Twitter as well before he liked that tweet. So, who knows? Who knows how he truly feels, if he feels that he could coexist with Lonzo, or if their games do not complement each other, and he wants the ball in his hands and wants to be the point guard of the Lakers, and could have a potential issue with Lonzo. So that's something to watch. I don't think it's worth, necessarily saying that that's the straw that broke the camel's back and it's time to trade D'Angelo Russell now. I mean, if you're going to trade D'Angelo Russell for a good pick or a good package, then you trade D'Angelo Russell for a good package. You don't let a liking of a tweet determine that. There's other factors that you've got to consider when you're making a big trade like that. I did speak back to Lonzo Ball news, I saw that he declined his workout with the Celtics, so that's his first step of becoming a Laker is turning his back on the Celtics, which we should all love that. So 2 cheers for Lonzo for telling the Celtics no thanks. I also saw that Lonzo Ball called Larry Nance the whole package, and I mentioned that a little bit on the podcast the other day, that if Lonzo does come in and he is the facilitator and the Jason Kidd type that so many people believe he can be, that Larry Nance is one of those players that would really benefit from him doing that. Larry Nance has got insane athletic ability. He's got the ability to get up and get just about any alley-oop you could throw him, but I think that Lonzo and Larry Nance could be something exciting. I said it the other day. I think it could be Lob City 2.0. And just as the Clippers are fading away, especially if Blake Griffin or Chris Paul or both of them leave, the Clippers are done. And I for one, couldn't be happier. The only reason they were relevant anyways is because they got Chris Paul and that after we got screwed in that trade. And I'm still bitter about that, and you'll probably hear me talk about that from time to time, but Chris Paul should have been a Laker. Him and Kobe should have been able to play together for a few years. Kobe's career would have been extended for a couple years if Chris Paul would have been there. So I'm still very bitter about that. And David Stern. I don't know if I could ever forgive David Stern for that. There's several things that I don't like David Stern for, but that's probably number one. And I shouldn't say probably, that's definitely number one. Here's some other news. Lonzo Ball is actually considering a working out for the 76ers. So that's funny. So, he won't work out for the Celtics, showing that he is, he really does want to play for the Lakers. He's a big Lakers fan. He's always been a Lakers fan, but he is considering working out for the 76ers. So that's telling. As far as maybe he or his agent don't have the confidence that they for sure are going to the Lakers at number 2. So that's interesting. Something to watch and pay attention to over the next few weeks leading up to the draft. Magic Johnson, in that same interview when he was talking about Lonzo Ball, reminding him of himself and what the young Lakers needed to improve on this year. He also really wanted to point out that he doesn't feel that Lavar Ball would be a distraction or an issue. He said that Lavar Ball, there's always parents that feel strongly about their kid, and through every level of basketball or of any sport, it doesn't matter what the sport, you've always got the parents that believe that their kid is the best or should play more or get the ball more, should have more opportunities, all those type of things. So, I truly think that it's professional sports, and that's another thing Magic brought up. He's like, this is pro sports. We're talking about a professional organization, a professional league. A parent is not going to keep me from drafting a player, nor will a parent influence me to draft a player. This is a pro sports league. We're kind of past the days of parent drama as much as Lavar wants to be relevant or wants to, grow his brand or market his brand, whatever he's trying to do, whatever he is trying to do. I'm not sure, but he's got people talking about him. He's always in the news. He's keeping on people's minds. He's got his own media tour going on. I see that guy doing an interview somewhere at least once a week. So he's smart in that aspect. He's definitely got everybody talking about him and trying to keep his name and his son's name and his son's game in the minds of everybody that's a basketball fan. So good for him as far as marketing goes. I do want to get you guys more involved with the podcast, with the Rumors Rundowns. I'd like to have one or two of you on a week. Fans out there, I love talking with you guys. I love chopping it up with Lakers fans, just talking about the future, talking about the current state of the team. Where we think we can go, what we can do, moves we can make. I love talking about those things with everyone. So if you guys would like to shoot me direct message on Twitter or just tweet at me on Twitter or message on YouTube, whatever you want to do. If you're interested in coming on the show or helping me out with a segment talking about something leading up to the draft, I'll do some player profiles here in the next couple weeks leading up to the draft. How they fit in with the Lakers. I did see the Lakers have been doing a lot of homework on the 28th pick in the draft. There's 3 or 4 guys at the number 2 pick that they're going to look at really heavily, and that's it. They're not going to bring in 10 guys that they're considering at the number 2 pick, but I do think they're going to bring in like 20 guys for who they're considering at the 28th pick, because you got to remember we don't have a second-round pick this year. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see who we take at the 28th pick, and I think we need a big guy. I think we need a rebounder, a defensive presence. I think we need somebody that can block some shots. I think, Julius Randle's a very good, kind of offensive power forward. He's a mismatch because of his athleticism and his quickness, but I don't think he's a great defender right now, and I think that we need somebody that can come in off the bench and really go in and, lock a player's, power forward down. So if we're in a situation where we're playing a team and their power forward is really hurting us that night, and Julius just isn't playing the greatest defense, that we can bring someone in to fill in for Julius and actually go in there and try to lock other power forwards down, or even move over to the center spot in small ball. I think that's a big thing that we need to look for, and I think that could be who the 28th pick is. I also feel that if the second pick is someone like Josh Jackson or the wild card Jason Tatum, then we could look at getting a guard of some sort at the 28th spot as well. I said it a long time ago. If we did something, and I wouldn't have any problem if we drafted Josh Jackson at the second pick and then went and got his teammate from Kansas, Frank Mason, at the 28th pick to fill our backup point guard spot. I mean, the guy was National Player of the Year. I know he's a little undersized, but he reminds me a lot of Kemba Walker, and I think that getting Josh Jackson and Frank Mason, they've already got chemistry. They're already friends. They're already teammates. They already know each other's games. Getting them both on the team, I think that'll only help the Lakers be better quicker. Not only that, give them a sort of support system. I know that Josh Jackson got ordered this week to take some anger management classes because of the incident he had with the other female student or athlete there at Kansas. At least nothing transpired really or escalated further than just some words. So, I think having Frank Mason and Josh Jackson would really make the Lakers a lot better quick. Scottie Pippen, you guys probably saw it too. Scottie Pippen came out and said that he doesn't think that LeBron James has passed Kobe Bryant yet, and in the vaunted list of top players in NBA history. I think that's obvious. I mean, it's Kobe, it's the Mamba. Not only does he have more rings and stayed with one team and was loyal and all those different things, I think Kobe, just skill-wise, is on a whole other level than LeBron. I'm not taking anything from LeBron James as far as him being a great player. He's one of the biggest mismatch ever, but I consider him almost like a Shaq of small forwards, meaning he's just more physical. He doesn't beat people off the dribble necessarily. He's not going to hit you with a fake shake fade away. He's not going to make you reach on a crossover and then blow past you and get to the lane wide open. He's going to kind of be physical and muscle you, push you out of the way, use his offhand to create space, all those type of things. And in the fact that he's just so physically dominant, being as quick as he is and as athletic as he is at the size he is. But, whatever. I think MJ and Kobe still, just their overall skill is just still better than LeBron. And I know that this generation, the younger people, really think that LeBron James is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and, they have every right to. But at the same time, Kobe and MJ were a different breed, different animal. I'd like to see what you guys thought what you guys would think too if Pau Gasol came back at the very end of his career and retired as a Laker. There was part of me last year that really wanted Gasol to come back before he signed with San Antonio. I wanted him to come back and kind of have that closure, and so we could all just kind of show him the appreciation that we do have for him. Even though that Bosh trade, again, thanks David Stern. The Bosh trade with CP3 really hurt Gasol, and then the constant rumors and unsureness that was surrounded him, and with Kupchak and Buss always trying to find deals that they could maybe trade him for somebody. I really wanted Pau Gasol to come back and really get some closure and retire as a Laker, so us fans and the community and everybody could show Pau how much we really did appreciate him, because I loved Pau Gasol. He'll always have a special place in my heart of heart for the Lakers. So maybe that could happen. Maybe, who knows? I could be completely crazy for thinking that he is older right now, but I think that he could really teach Zubac a lot, especially considering that everybody says that Zubac is the next Marc Gasol. So obviously Pau helped Marc become the player that he is today. I mean, they were brothers. They played together all the time. On to some other news. I'm sure some of you guys saw that Byron Scott was in the news this week again, talking about how he felt betrayed, lied to, deceived by Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss. I don't doubt that. There's no I don't know of any information or any behind-the-scenes information of what they could have told Byron Scott about job security or their plans to keep him on for the entire length of his contract. Who knows? Who knows what was said? But I do feel like the Lakers needed a culture change entirely, and I think it needed to be exactly what happened. I think Byron Scott needed to go. I think that Mitch Kupchak needed to go, and I think Jim Buss needed to go. I think this Laker team needed to fully move on to the next era, not only player-wise, but personnel-wise, front office-wise, coach-wise, everything. And I think we're heading in the right direction now, and I'm really excited about the future of the Lakers. But, of course, Byron Scott also did not refrain from taking a parting shot at D'Angelo Russell. He said that maybe D'Angelo can improve his work ethic, but from people he's talked to within the organization, he hasn't. And that's kind of interesting. I don't know if he's just still kind of, salty about getting fired from the Lakers, or that him and D'Angelo didn't really see eye to eye. But he's still pushing D'Angelo hard, and maybe he's just doing it as a motivation thing because he thinks the kid can be really good. He's just got to, become a little bit more mature, really have that work ethic get better, have his leadership skills grow. Maybe he's trying to get that out of him still because, Byron Scott is a Laker at heart, even though he's not the coach, and I'm sure he's still upset about getting fired or whatever. Or maybe he's not, and maybe he just doesn't like D'Angelo, and he just still has a grudge against him, and he's still, talking trash on D'Angelo, so that's interesting. It doesn't look like that's going away anytime soon until, D'Angelo Russell just shuts him up by on-court play. And I think that, hopefully he'll use that as motivation. I think DLO will use that as motivation and continue to improve and really want to stick it to anybody that has called him a bust or anybody that's criticized his game or anything like that. So that's pretty much all that I got for you guys today. I really appreciate everybody following the page, subscribing to YouTube, checking out the podcast, checking out the tweets, interacting with me on Twitter. I really enjoy it, guys. Again, if you're not following on Twitter, please follow at LakersSource. That's at LakersSource. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do that from this video. And I'm going to keep bringing you guys content, keep pumping out everything I can involving the Lakers, leading up to the draft, through free agency, leading up to next year, and we're gonna make the playoffs. That's what we're gonna do. All right, I love y'all. Appreciate everything. Peace.